Hi there. Today I want to explore a really interesting idea that came up to mind about the places we are drawn to. So, for context, in multiple fields such as traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, astrology, and many indigenous traditions, all of them recognize the symbolic importance of the elements of the earth, of life actually, which are earth, water, fire, and air. Um, and even though each of them has different meaning, each of those types of fields have different meanings to them. They all point towards the outer world, reflecting the inner world. So, what if the places we love aren't random? What if we aren't simply choosing beautiful landscapes, but are being drawn towards environments that reflect something within us? Perhaps those places awaken some qualities we have forgotten or remind us of parts of ourselves that are asking for attention. Take the ocean, for example, which is one that really calls to me particularly. So, countless people describe feeling like an immediate sense of peace in the moment that they reach by the ocean, by the beach. Um, People say that they are able to think clearly or feel more of themselves again, more grounded perhaps. And even though, of course, the water being connected to the earth directly, and thus putting our feet or the rest of our body inside the water, it's a real physical effect. We get the electrons from there. Uh, but this isn't related to that. This is a different topic. So let's go back to the water. Symbolically, the water represents emotion, intuition, healing, and depth. Um, so maybe those who are attracted to the sea are longing for emotional connection. Uh, Maybe they spent years living inside their minds, disconnected from their feelings, and then the ocean becomes an invitation to reconnect to that emotional world they've been disconnected from. So there are people who don't care about beaches. They may like mountains, for example. Um, Maybe mountains with lots of forests, uh, hiking trails. Maybe that's where some people feel the most alive. And what does Earth represent? Earth represents stability, grounding, uh, belonging. So maybe those people have spent their lives scattered, overwhelmed, and disconnected from having their mind on the moon. um, so maybe that place in nature offers them the stability they crave, and it's easy actually for many people to be ungrounded now they have that we have technology everywhere, being them scrolling on the Instagram or other social media. It's very ungrounding. Um, there's also the part of fire, the element of fire. Maybe people like volcanoes, sunsets, anything that relates to fire, or even candles burning. Uh, and fire relates to transformation, to passion, to purpose. So maybe those people are craving something different, maybe thinking differently, or expressing themselves more honestly, or to remember themselves the fire that they have stuck somewhere within, but they can't put it outside. And if you think about the astrology, of course, my favorite subject, uh, when it comes to those I mentioned previously. Um, so each sign in the zodiac uh, falls into one of those four elements: earth, water, fire, earth, water, fire, wind. And water is science related to emotion, and earth relates to stability, fire with passion, and I said wind, it's air, whatever, you get the point. And the air relates to thought and communication. So, could it be that someone who loves the ocean has strong water signs in their birth chart? Nah, that's not how it works. Um, but it doesn't mean that there isn't symbolism related to that. There is. Um, so maybe those places that are calling to us aren't telling us who we are. Maybe they are showing something that we are seeking. And if you are drawn towards qualities that already exist within us and are repressed, and it isn't a good idea to repress anything within us, of course, unless um, we are in danger, in immediate danger, if we do so. But at the same time, it's a pattern we may have learned from before, uh, from childhood, to ensure our survival, or at least we thought back then. Uh, we have repressed some things in us to fit in, to ensure we didn't cause any trouble. There is an interesting duality where we may be drawn towards qualities that are already existing within us in a very prevalent way. And other times we may be drawn towards qualities we have somewhat neglected or forgotten. Um, so, for example, someone seeking the ocean may not necessarily be emotional already. Maybe they want that bigger emotional connection, either with themselves or with someone else. Uh, and someone obsessed with mountains may not already feel grounded. Maybe they want to be grounded. Maybe they want stability. And we can take this idea to other aspects of life. Um, for example, rivers representing movement, letting go, and trusting life's flow. That's something that is used symbolically to refer that. Um, we got also rain. Rain can represent emotional cleansing and renewal. Snow can bring feelings of silence and stillness, being snow representing the cold. Cold represents something frozen, something still. Um, and forests can also feel protective, nurturing, healing. Uh, Volcanoes are powerful, so they can represent immense power waiting to be expressed. Storms can represent transformation, emotional release, and change. And sunrises inspiring new beginnings, hope. Um, Sunsets, closure, reflection. Deserts, solitude, minimalism. Where else? Night sky, one of my favorites. They can represent mystery, spirituality, uh, seeking something deeper, something hidden in the dark, uh, and also can represent higher connection. So yeah, maybe nature is reflecting us back to qualities our soul already recognizes, and it's very interesting to see it that way. It's like as above, so below. And with that being said, um, I give you one question for you to think about, which is interesting as a reflection to end the video. So, if you chose one place on Earth to live forever, where would it be? Will it be the ocean, the mountains, the forest, the desert, a river, or somewhere else? So, write in the comments what you think about this and your answer to this. Uh, I would love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, feel free to suggest another video topics for me to talk about. I'm always receptive to talk about a wide variety of things. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.